back to Simbright Fashion Academy YouTube channel for another interesting tutorial. In this tutorial, I'll be teaching you how to sew this multiple keyhole flared gown with rings, as you can see right there on the thumbnail. This is actually a high-low flared gown, as you can see, and I'll be teaching you the tips and tricks to sewing flare high-low gowns. Okay, so this multiple keyhole can actually be lower or it can be higher. It depends on choice. So I'll be teaching you the tips and tricks to creating these keyholes. Then at the end of the day, you can create it the way you actually want. So if this is what you want to learn in this class, I will encourage you to stay till the end of this tutorial to learn more. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Simbright Fashion Academy YouTube channel. We upload videos on this channel every day, so if you turn on your notification bell, you will be receiving videos every day on this channel. Thank you very much for joining Simbright Fashion Academy YouTube channel once again, and please stay till the end of this tutorial to learn how I created these keyholes and how I inserted the rings as well. Please stay tuned. Thank you. To start off this tutorial, I'll be making use of chiffon fabric. So actually you can make use of any fabric of your choice. It can be chiffon, it can be crepe, it can be silk, as you desire, provided it gives that perfect flow. So I have 4 yards right here. So these 4 yards, I'm going to use it to make this ring flare gown. And these are my rings. Okay, so these are called rings. We have I have 8 pieces of them right here, as you can see. So these 8 pieces, I'll be using 4 for front and 4 for back for this tutorial. So the first thing we are going to do now, we are going to draft just a short basic bodice halter neck line right now. Then I'll show you how to place it on this fabric. So this is my basic bodice pattern from my shoulder line. I drafted it from the shoulder line and to the chest line and to my bust point. So you just have to stop at your bust point. Here is the center front. So we want to use this basic bodice pattern to get the halter neck and the openings in front of the dress. So after this, I've connected my armhole at 0.75 and I took the measurement of my bust circumference, divide by 4 on the chest line, which I have as 10 and 10 on the bust point. So I'll come over to the neckline and I'm going to measure my neckline. My neckline is 4 by 4. I'll mark 4 inches for depth, for width, and 4 inches for depth. Then I'm going to quietly connect it to this point, as you can see. So once I've connected the neckline, the first thing I'm going to do is to create the first hole. So the first hole, I want it at 1.5. So half of 1.5 is 0.75. From the center front, I'll go in by 0.75 or 3/4. So I'll create that opening using this part of my ruler this way. So it depends on how deep you want it to be. For me, I don't want it that deep as it is right there on the thumbnail. So, but if you want it that deep, just go ahead and connect to the bust point like this. So I don't want it to open too much. So I'll just connect it halfway before the bust point for me. So it depends on what you want. You can make it a little bit higher and you can make it a little bit shorter. So this is the first connection. So coming over to the second connection, I'm going to use my rings. So it depends on the size of the ring you are using. So for this part, which is half of the front, you know we have 4 rings for the front. So because I'm drafting half of it, I'll use 2 rings to construct this. So my first ring, I'm going to place it this way. Watch how I'm placing the first ring. You can see the first ring. I have it right here. And I'm going to place it. Let me just place it like this. Just make a mark like this on the ring to show that that is the point I'm going to put the first ring. Then after that mark I made here, which is going to contain the first ring, note that the opening is at 1.5, but I mark 0.75 here because it's half. So but for this part is full, I will go ahead and mark 1.5, which is full. So this 1.5 I've marked right here now. That is going to serve as the opening before the next ring. So after marking the 1.5 from here to here, 1.5 inches spacing, the next I will do is to bring back the second ring. This time I'll place the second ring at the center position this way. Can you see? So once I place it, I will now take, this will now be the center. I will make marks on it like this. So these marks are going to be the major marks for my connection. So I'll take off the rings and I'll come to the end of this mark. That is where I'm going to have my halter neckline. So I'm connecting the halter neckline right now into the armhole. Then in between, this is where the ring is going to be, and this is where the ring is going to be for this one. So it depends on body size anyway. So if you look at your body size and you have enough space this way, you can give more space. But for me, I don't have that much shoulder size, so that's why I have to place this in between and get the midpoint. So these are the rings right now. So the spacing we have is between here and here. So I'm going to take off these rings and then I'm going to direct this. I will take this line to the center of that spacing. So I just want to shift it this way. So I just want it to point, or this is what you do to make it easy. Just place your tape here and get the midpoint. I want it to point to the midpoint. Okay, so this is the midpoint. So from that midpoint, I'll come in a little more by 1 inch. So I'll now place my ruler here. I just want it to direct to that midpoint. I believe you understand what I'm doing. So this is the midpoint of what I measured right now. So I'll just come up a little by 1 inch, and then I'm going to connect these lines. So I just want it to point following this anyway. So just try and be creative. I believe you understand what I'm doing. So I'll just use this part of, just find the midpoints and use this part of the ruler. So I just want to get it in a way that it will relax well on that point and still create that effect we have right there on the thumbnail. So you can see what I did right here. So I believe they are equal somehow. So I can just come in a little bit with the opening this way. Then what I have here and here should be equal. So let me just take the measurement. From here I have 1.25, and from here I have a little above 1.25. So I'll just mark from here 1.25 to make it equal and increase the neckline, the hole, a little bit more, because by the time I open this it will be as wide as this. So this should be smaller because it's half of what we have right here. So I believe you understand that. So right now we are done. I'll go ahead and cut off what I have on my pattern. So but before you do that, make sure you take the measurement of what you have here. So this measurement is going to be our strip measurement, 6.5, 6.5. 6.5 will be multiplied by 4 because we are working on a quarter. So if you multiply by 4, my rope is going to be 26 because 6.5 times 4 will give us 26. So take note of what you have here That will be the measurement of the rope. So I'll go ahead and cut the neckline right now. The part of the neckline that we need for this project, that is what I'm cutting, as you can see. So another thing I want to do is to raise this a little bit up, because I don't want the armhole too open. Sometimes halter necks like that are too open when you don't raise them up. So I come up by 1 inch from my main chest line. So I come up by 1 inch from my chest line, so I don't expose that part. It all depends on you anyway. So I'll just go in with what I have here. I'll first of all create my normal neckline again, the normal front neckline for normal basic bodies. I'll create it again for this new armhole, new chest line. Then after that, I'll connect it back to this, so it's not that too open. That is why I'm doing this. But if you like it where it is, there's no problem about it. So I'll just cut, instead of cutting through that way, I'll now cut through here. Can you see? Then and connect this straight. So this is my center front. So I'll just cut into the hole. So that is what I'm going to use now to cut out on the main fabric. Of course, you are going to see how this will be done. So I'll just cut into the hole. So we still have our neckline right now. So I'm going to use this to cut out the pattern now. So now I'm going to transfer what I have on the paper on my fabric. So my fabric is actually 4 yards. If you want it that long, the gown that long, use 4 yards. But if you want it a little bit shorter, you can use 3 yards. So I've separated my 4 yards into 2 yards, 2 yards. So I'm going to use 1 2 yards and cut, then place it on the other 2 yards and cut the back. So now I'll simply bring the 2 yards. So this is my 2 yards. From here to here measures the 2 yards. So this yardage part, I'll hold it here on the yardage part and kiss the yard to the length. The length usually comes at 60 inches for chiffon. So I'll match it to the 60 inches length like this to form a triangle. So this is it, to form a triangle. Can you see that? So I'll just go ahead and arrange it very well. So once I've done that, form the triangle, I'll make sure I form it very well. Here becomes my center front, center back. My center front, sorry, because I'm working on one panel. So I'll bring in my pattern like this. So you are going to place this pattern for this center front to match the center front front side, sorry. So you can see how I'm matching it. This line should be your guide. So I'll just match it like this and pin. So I'm going to pin it right. So this is what I did. You can see this line is directly on the folded edge. Make sure it's on the folded edge. And another thing, before you pin, make sure the gap here is at 0.75. So I'm taking the measurement from there to be sure it's at 3/4. So from here, I have mine almost at 3/4, just almost. But I'll just leave it at that because the remaining is so insignificant. So make sure here is 0.75 and here is on the line. And then make sure that what you have some space from this line. Okay, so it's not that too tight. So on the new chest line, I'm going to measure my bust circumference divide by 4, which I have as 10. Then I'll add my seam allowance of 1 inch for seaming, and I'll add half an inch for ease. So just add 1.5 to everything. 1.5 to everything, because we are working on fabric now. So after that is done, I'm going to cut. So I have my mark here. I'm going to cut the neckline. So on cutting the neckline, you know we are going to fold in part of the fabric into to form the casing for this part. So I'm going to place this on top like that. I'm going to place the ring on top like this, and then cut. So that is the spacing, or the, let me call it the allowance I will be folding in. So that allowance, later now I'm going to check how many inches it is. So it should be about 1 inch from there. So if I measure from here, okay, I have 1.5, but I just want it at 1 inch, so that is not too much. So I'll just mark at 1 inch from that point. So let me just mark 1 inch. 1 inch is okay. So you have to mark it following the neckline too. So when I'm folding in, I'll fold in 1 inch. So I'll take off the rings once again. Then I'll add half an inch on this side, which I'm going to use for my bias taping. So I'll take it to the 1.5, which I've cut from here. I'll cut from here diagonally. So I'll open up what I have right here. So the opening I have here, I'll also add half an inch. So you can see me shifting to add my seam allowance. Then I'll also do the same, half an inch seam allowance. That will be for the bias. I will use my bias to tape that part open. So by the time I stitch half an inch all around with my bias, it gives me that opening. So that is the main part of this tutorial. So I'll now go ahead and take the length of my choice. So the length is actually high load. If you look at it, you see that we have a lot of high-low effects. So, but I'm going to just take the longest length. It depends on if you want it to the knee line or you want it to the hem line. So I just want to show you how to create the high-low effect. So here is the center front, as you can see right here. And I'm going to place my tape right on the shoulder right here. I'm going to take the measurement of what I have on the side. It depends on as long as you want it. So on my side I have 47. So if you want it shorter, you can go to your length. Then measuring the side at 47, I'll also place my tape from that shoulder. And this time I'm going to take the measurement on the center front, the same at 47. So I'll create my mark at 47 at that point. I'm trying to be very careful with this fabric because it's wobbling a lot. So from here, I'll place my tape and get the midpoint to the side. So here I have 42 and my midpoint is here. So I'll make a mark at that 21, place my tape right there, and take the length of 47. It depends on how high low you want it to be. So I'll just make it as high as 53. Okay, so instead of measuring 47, which I measured at the center front and at the center back, I increased this by about 8 inches. So now I'm going to create the high-low effect. I want you to watch what I'm doing. Can you see what I'm doing? I'll just create the high-low effect like this. Then I'll also come over here and create the high-low effect this way. So I'm going to cut out that shape now. So this is actually the high-low part. So I just want it to give that high-low effect very well. So I can raise it up a little bit. That means my length is going to be affected now. Just a little bit. So I'll just go this way. Just watch what I'm doing. So you need to be very creative. Then once I get here, I'll take it straight. So can you see? So that is what we have on that high-low effect. So you can create your design high-low as you wish. Then on this part, I'll just cut to the side straight from that chest line. So this is how the shape of your high-low flare gown is going to look like. So what I have here, you can shape it the way you want. It's not a must it must be this way. You can do anything you want to it. So I'm going to place what I have on this pattern on the other remaining 2 yards and cut the back exactly the same way. Then we'll proceed to the sewing. So I'm done cutting the both of them. As you can see, I placed this on top of this to cut out this. So now I can take off my pattern. So I'm going to start sewing. So the first thing we are going to do is to pick them up one after the other and finish up the neck line. So this is the neckline. So you can see how it looks. So we have so many options in finishing this neckline. I can use my bias now to tape everything around. I can also place my chiffon fabric on top. I can also decide to fold this in and run my stitches on it. Okay, just fold it in neatly and run my stitches. I think that is what I'm going to do. Okay, it's going to save us much stress and more time. But when you are folding, make sure that you are folding in 0.5 inch. So I'll just fold it very small, okay, and give it a good press. So that's how I'm going to finish. But if you feel you want to do a facing for it, you can actually do a facing for it, and the facing will make it look nice and beautiful as well. So whichever method. So I'll go into the machine now. I'm going to run my stitches like I showed you now. Let me do that. So right now I'm done hemming the keyholes just like I demonstrated to you, and I'm going to insert my rings and top stitch on top of it with my zipper foot. So you can see how I'm putting the ring. So you can see this is the front rings. So I want you to note that I have to fold it in again. If you look at the back, you can see it's neatly finished. So that 1 inch, you have to fold half an inch in before you top stitch on top of it. So that is what I did for all the rings. So that part needs to be very neat. Okay, you fold it in and then you top stitch on top of it. So now I have all the rings on the dress for back and front. So the next thing we are going to do is to sew the sleeve or the strap. So I will be using this fabric, the same fabric, but the width of this fabric here is 2 inches. So remember that we talked about the full length, which was 26, if you remember when we are drafting this. So but now I just cut out a piece of fabric. So this is the pattern we drafted. Sorry, I'm placing it this way to match up so you can see the center front. So the space we have in between was 1.5. We measure 0.75 here times 2, because it's at the center front, will give us 1.5. So now that will affect our strip. So I'll go now and fold in this strip as long as you wish, just make it. We are now going to fold in like this and sew to the end, then we'll start cutting it. Now I'm done sewing my strip and I'm going to cut them 3 inches each, 3 inches each. So these 3 inches each, I'm going to use it to link the rings. Okay, so I'm going to insert it and top stitch. I'm done sewing all the rings for front and for the back. So I've sewn the size of the dress to the hem. So we need to attach the sleeve. So to attach the part that will go to the shoulder, we need to take the measurement of what we have from here to here. Okay, so taking the measurement of what we have there, this is what we have from the part we connected the halter neckline to the shoulder is 2 inches. So double of it that will go to the back will be 4 inches. Then I'll add half an inch for sewing this side and this side. So I'm going to cut my remaining fabric right now at 5 inches. So I'll just measure, or I will just measure 5 inches. So but when you are folding, make sure you fold in half an inch so that everything matches up accordingly. So I'll just cut out at 5 inches. So and cut for the other side also at 5 inches. So I'm going to fold in this half an inch, or you can cut at 6 inches. So it depends on how you want to fold it anyway. So I'll just fold like this and stitch. I just want to show you how I'm sewing these rings. Actually, you need your zipper foot to enable you sew on the rings. So that's what I'm doing. So I've sewn the parts of 5 inches, which completes this process. So we are done with this tutorial right now. So actually, this is my center front. This is my front and I have my back. Anywhere can serve as your front or your back. So I believe this class was helpful to you. So if you want the center front neckline not to be too deep, you can go up from your pattern. Okay, so this was my pattern which I cut on this middle line. You can come up to the chest line or a little above the chest line, and that will also affect this. Just come up a little bit. So that is how we come to the end of this tutorial, and I believe this class was helpful to you. So if you are new to this channel, please kindly subscribe, turn on your notification bell to receive videos like this every day. Like this video, share to family and friends. Drop your comment on the comment section and your suggestions as well. Thank you once again. See you in the next class. Bye.